Hi, everybody. I'm Randy Arrington, and welcome to episode 107 of Page Valley Livin'. We're here today in the Winum Building, the Stanley Police Department, to talk with retiring Chief Ryan Beaver Dean. He's going to be hanging up his badge here at the end of the week. We're going to talk to him about his 3+ decades in law enforcement, why he chose this particular time to retire, and reminisce a little bit about his time in law enforcement. We're going to do that in just a few moments when we come back right after a word from our sponsor.
Whispering Pines Assisted Living is now accepting new admissions. Quality care at affordable rates, professionally trained staff, memory support, and short-term respite stays are all offered by Whispering Pines Assisted Living, powered by Valley Care Management, where home and heart meet. Call for a tour today on Leakesville Road in Luray or learn more at valleycaremanagement.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to episode 107 of Page Valley Livin'. As I said, we're here in the Winum Building, the Stanley Police Department, to talk to retiring Chief Ryan Beaver Dean. We are recording episode 107 here on Tuesday, February the 24th, and we will be airing this episode on Wednesday, February 25th of 2026. And we are just one day away from the 5th anniversary of the shooting of Officer Winum. We're going to talk more about that in a moment because that is something that is tied to your retirement. But I want to start off with something much lighter and much easier. Where did you get the nickname Beaver?
My grandmother on my mother's side, my Granny Young, when I was born, I was short, chubby, with no hair. And the way I understand it, it was a show called On the Rocks. And this guy's name was Cleaver. And it went from Cleaver to Cleaver Beaver to just Beaver. And I've had that nickname now for 50 years.
That's a little bit better than mine. My dad used to call me Jelly Roll because of my little jelly roll here. And when that singer or the rapper or whatever come along, I was like, hey, that's the first time I've heard that since I was young. You know, you're retiring now. I think you told me you had about 31 years in law enforcement, started with the Sheriff's Office and have been here in Stanley for about a quarter century, Chief for the last 10. Do you remember much about back in '94, your first assignment or your first patrol or anything back with the Sheriff's Office?
I started in the jail my first day, and we had a drug kingpin that we had to bring over from court, from Rockingham.
Okay.
And me and another gentleman went over and got him, brought him back. Well, my captain at the time says, hey, I forgot to tell you, look at all the overpasses and people side the road, don't stop for anybody or anything else. I said, okay. I just assumed that was normal procedure. Well, the guy I was riding with said, you know why he told you that, don't you? I said, no, sir. They said the Jamaican hitmen or mob, whatever, they actually had a hit on this guy because he had got caught.
This was your first
day.
First day on the job. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes.
When did you start thinking about retirement?
Really seriously back in July and August when I had my health trouble and had to have surgery on my back and my neck, and you know, we're not going to live forever.
Right,
and,
right.
You know, I could have went in December and I didn't. So really seriously last few months, I really didn't have my mind made up.
Okay. You know, you're doing this, as we talked about this week, 5th anniversary of Officer Winum, Nick Winum's fatal shooting back in 2021. How much did that play into your timing of your decision?
Oh, everything. Yeah, everything. Like I said, I could have went in December, but it's another couple months. I guess it's my last time to pay homage to him.
Right.
You know, so we didn't know whether to do something big when his 5-year anniversary or not, and Kara didn't want it. So I just think that day is perfect.
Right.
It's perfect.
Right. I think we've already started to see the blue lights pop up all across Stanley and all across Page County.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about a couple of other things coming up, a blood drive. There's a few slots open for the blood drive this week. And a little open house that you're going to have tomorrow. We may be airing about the time you're shaking hands and greeting people, but we'll mention that a little bit in the second half as well. But, you know, small town, relatively safe, but you've seen some rough stuff in your day, and we were sitting here talking a moment ago. Folks remember the Zirkle murders that happened up on Storybook Trail.
Yes, sir.
Back about 25 years ago, maybe a little bit more than that. And you were involved in that, I think.
Yes, sir. I was involved in that. One of the first people up there. Like I said, I was still a young man. And when I was at the sheriff's office, the 7 murders after I got hired, I was involved with in one way or another.
Wow.
Not that I'm proud of that, but just seemed like it was either on my shift or it got to be a running joke around the office. Like, what end of the county are you going on? Because we're going on the other.
Right.
It was attracted to me. The bad stuff, it seemed. I guess it was the Lord's way of saying, "Are you ready for this?" You know.
Well, that's a lot for a young officer to take in, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And back then, it wasn't any help. You know, not like it is today. You dealt with it. Unfortunately, there was help, but you sort of blackballed,
right,
in that situation. So, luckily, I've got a good family support.
And I know I saw you in not too long after February 26, 2021. That had a big impact on you. How do you react to a situation like that? I mean, you have your professional side where you've got to react, you've got to deal with the shooter, you've got to deal with public safety, but someone you've known and who was a friend to see in that state, I mean, how do you function? How do you deal with that?
Honestly, I'm not sure the time frame, but it took a little bit for it to set in. I mean, I was off. By the time I got here, it was 20 minutes. There's police and cop cars everywhere. And the very first thing I did was call my wife. And I said, "Hey, something bad's happened. It's not me. Please call my parents, call my brother. Tell them that not to worry about it, that I'm here on the scene."
Am I wrong, but did his widow find out about this on Facebook? Wasn't it something where she saw a post?
She actually I think there was some talk at the food line.
Okay.
And I think she had heard some things. And as soon as they got the gentleman, my first priority was to go there. And it actually took me a little bit because all the roads were shut down with cars sitting everywhere. So, but it was still about an hour, and she was left in limbo.
When did it hit you the hardest? Was it that day, or was it a day later, a week later, a month later?
It was such a whirlwind. You know, everything that first week, people coming by. Then we went to New York. Probably when we was off that whole month of March. You know, you don't have you're not working.
Right.
The only thing you can do is sit around and think about it. What could you do different? And unfortunately, there's nothing anybody could have did that day.
Right. You all went to Washington, where fallen officers were honored and mentioned. That had to have been a profound trip with his widow as well.
Yeah, never even thought about going down there. Not sure why. I just did it. And I've told you, I think I've said it on camera before. The thing that got me the most, or the people first off, was when the rain came through. They was calling for rain all day and all night, and we sat right on the corner. And when that rain came, it was a few drops, but it was like a line that stopped, and it never come over the crowd of all the family and police officers and coworkers and all that.
I think the story, I remember you telling me that story, and I think I shared the story of when we were over at Ed Good Park for the 1 year. Yeah. Right as the ceremonies, and I saw this with my own eyes, right as it started, there was a tree. If I'm looking at the Pioneer performance stage, I'm looking over to the left, Eagle lands when the ceremony began, and I swear when the last person spoke, it flew off. I can't explain it. It happened, and I saw it.
When we dropped Nick off in New York, the first police car we saw, the number on it, the phone number was 778, which is of course our Stanley's number.
Prefix,
to
phone.
Sir.
Well, obviously, you retiring at this time does pay a certain homage to him. One more question before we go on to our next segment. With all of the different things you've seen, and we just talked about, you've seen it at all extremes, but what do you think has really changed the most in law enforcement over the last 3 decades?
Lack of respect from the public. I mean, for the most part, small town. I don't think it's changed a whole lot, but nationally, there's just no respect, and you can tell. You can turn on TV anytime.
Right.
And the corrupt police officers, it seems like it's a lot more than it was back in the day.
Right. Right.
But it used to be if you told somebody to put their hands up, they put their hands up.
Right.
Now they don't put their hands up. They're reaching for a gun or a weapon or something.
Why do you think people are not more, I guess intimidated might be the right word, or do you think there's just more, whether it's deserved or not, more resentment?
I'm not sure. I noticed a change probably 10, 15 years ago, and I'm not sure what changed. I used to, if I got a juvenile speeding, I would tell them, because if a juvenile gets a ticket, mom and daddy has to pay it.
Right, right.
I would tell them, go home and tell your mom and daddy before
Yeah.
I go tell them.
Right.
It worked for forever.
Right, right.
And about 10 years ago, I told this young kid,
Yeah.
I knew him, knew his parents. And I said, go home and tell your mom and dad before I do. The dad called me and called me everything up one side and down the other because I'd stopped his son. And it was just a simple speeding ticket.
You know, I think there's probably a lot of teachers and coaches and other folks like that would probably agree with
Absolutely.
you right along. When we come back in the second part here, we're going to talk more with Chief Ryan Beaver Dean about his upcoming retirement and a couple of events that are coming up this week to mark the 5th anniversary of the fatal shooting of Officer Winum, as well as Chief Dean's retirement. We'll talk about all that and more when we come back in just a moment.
Hawksbill Assisted Living in Luray is now accepting new admissions. Hawksbill Assisted Living, powered by Valley Care Management, offers quality care at affordable rates, professionally trained staff, and veterans aid and attendance. Come visit Hawksbill Assisted Living, located near the beautiful Hawksbill Greenway in Luray. Call for a tour today or learn more at valleycaremanagement.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to episode 107 of Page Valley Livin'. Once again, here in the Winum Building at the Stanley Police Department, talking to Chief Dean. A lot of us know him as Beaver. Been around for a while, and seems like dominoes here lately. We've got a lot of long-standing police chiefs that are either retiring or talking about retiring. Did you coordinate this with Paul Davis?
I should have. Yeah, Paul's been a mentor to me. He was chief a few years before I was. And
Okay.
I've called on him numerous times for advice, and he's always never let me down. Always been there.
Well, I do want to say to the folks out there, we had talked with Chief Davis a little bit down in the town of Shenandoah, of course, and he is also ending his tenure at the end of this month. And I think taking over him, Captain Rodney Hensley is going to be taking over down there, I believe on March 1 in the town of Shenandoah. And we knew, Chief Davis, knew you were kind of shy, knew you didn't maybe want to do the video, but we did get out an article recently about that. And but, you know, here's a good question everybody's going to ask you. You got to ask it at every retirement interview. What are you going to do in retirement?
You know, I really haven't made up my mind yet. I've had several job offers in law enforcement as
okay.
well as outside of law enforcement.
Well, that's not retirement, is it?
No, it's not. I would probably prefer to be outside of law enforcement.
Okay.
But I'm going to take a few weeks and think about it, honestly.
Well, you know, you recently got appointed not that long ago to the Luray Council. How's that going?
Going well. I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work. People don't realize how much work it is involved.
Them folks are busy, man.
Yes,
they
sir, they
got their hands full.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
definitely say that. How does it feel instead of being at the podium, being at the table on the other side?
It is a lot different. It is. It's a lot different when. Well, I've been down there before at the podium, and it's
Yeah.
been my problem.
Right.
When I've been now, I'm listening to everybody's problem and have to try to find a solution.
Well, I'm sure you're going to do really, really well. I think they were very wise in their choice. You know, how hard was it to walk away from something that you've dedicated 3 decades to? Because law enforcement is not just like making donuts or selling tires. I mean, there's a brotherhood there.
Yes.
There's camaraderie there. There's shared experience. There's extreme experiences that you've had. What is it like now to walk away from that?
It's hard. I mean, I've had several side jobs since I've been in law enforcement, but this has always been my go-to.
Right.
You know, I still love it. I still like it. I still enjoy talking to the people. I still love the job.
Right.
Unfortunately, the world has changed.
Yes,
you know,
it has.
And not in a good way. And I was eligible at age 50, and it just seemed like the right time to go. It's time for someone else to take over.
If you had to give one piece of advice to your successor, what would it be?
Know how to talk to the public. That's the main thing. Don't yell and scream and holler and look to take somebody to jail.
Right.
I did it. I'm not criticizing. I did it before, but I've learned from it.
Right.
A lot of things can just be solved by listening to people.
Right.
It really
right.
can.
De-escalation, right? Always
De-escalation.
looking to de-escalate.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and we will mention to the folks out there watching that when you step down, I guess you said Saturday is technically your last
Yes,
day. Captain Rebecca Jenkins will be stepping up as the interim chief here in Stanley, and the Stanley Council received 3 applications. They're going to be doing some interviews on March 4th and make a final decision on March 11th. So by the time they have their regular monthly meeting on March 11th, everything should be official, and we'll have a new police chief here in Stanley. Now, you guys got a lot going on. On Thursday, there's a blood drive, Thursday the 26th, the anniversary of Nick's shooting, from 12 to 6 p.m. at the fire hall. And as I understand, there's a few slots left.
Yes, sir. I think there's 8 or 9 left.
8 or 9?
Yes,
okay.
sir.
And what total are y'all have a goal, or how much you're trying to get in terms of people or pints?
They
or?
give time slots. And
Okay.
it's a certain amount.
Right.
And that's all we get. So.
Right. And we also want to let folks know, now we're going to be airing this on Wednesday around midday, and around that same time, I think from 10 to 1, you're having a little open house. That's what I think Rebecca set this up here for you, and
Yeah.
you're going to be shaking some hands and all, and taking any final complaints, right?
Yes, sir. I actually found out about it on Facebook. So I didn't have anything to do with this. So it's nice. It's nice.
We covered most everything. There's a couple things that I'm just going to leave you with, I think, one final question. We talked about some of the things happening this week. Again, don't forget the blood drive, Thursday, 12 to 6 at the fire hall. Still a few slots left. Please come out and donate in the name of Officer Winum. Great event there that's going to, hopefully, that's going to help save a lot of lives. We talked about your career. We talked about where you started, early days. We talked about why you've chosen to retire, what you may do in retirement. But as you look back on 30, almost 31 years in law enforcement, you were with the Sheriff's Office, as we said, for about 6 years. You've been with Stanley for 25. You've been chief for a decade. When you look back on it, how do you hope that people think of you and remember you as a law enforcement officer?
I would hope they see me as a fair person, honest person. Even if I had to take you to jail, or if I did take you to jail, I hope I did it in a respectful manner. You know, one of my goals when I became chief 10 years ago was to leave the Stanley Police Department better than when I found it. Right. And I feel like that I did the best I could to do that. Right. We've never had a female before. We actually hired 3, have 2 here now. Right. We've got about $1.2 million in grants.
Okay.
Started the Trout Day. There's a bunch of different things that I'm proud of. Right. But I hope people can just remember me as being respectful and honest.
Well, I believe that they will. And I tell you what, the Stanley Council is going to miss you, because you are one of the few department heads or police chiefs or anybody else that came to them on more than one occasion and said, I don't need any more money. I got enough, because you were getting just rolling in grants there for a while. So that's something to be proud of as well.
Yes, sir.
As well. Manage the people's money very, very well. So, Chief Dean, I want to thank you for being with us today. I wish you all the best in retirement. I think you should be proud of your tenure, and I think you're going to see over the next few days, few weeks, and months, when you get quite a few pats on the back and a few attaboys, that I think you're going to see how much you were appreciated
Thank you,
here in the
Randy.
town of
Appreciate
Stanley.
it.
Well, that's going to bring episode 107 to a close, folks. If you liked today's episode, make sure you click that like button, share it with a friend, and subscribe to our YouTube channel there at Page Valley News. As always, we want to thank Eleanor Arrington for her work behind the camera and in the editing room this week. And as we end each and every episode, make sure you go down to the Page County Animal Shelter and help one of our furry friends find a forever home. From the Winum Building here in Stanley, and for Chief Dean, I'm Randy Arrington, saying until next week, enjoy that Page Valley living.